Yeah, what is it that makes you light up? What is it that wakes you up? What is it that makes you want to put in 20-hour days? Tay was talking about that with Maya. What is it that makes you want to put in 20-hour days, that makes you lose sleep, that makes you say, how can I solve this problem? What can I do better? How can I help others? What is it that makes you feel like that? It is your purpose, right? It's your purpose, it's your calling. It's something that you've been assigned to do. And whatever it is that you've been, and passion does that also, whatever it is that you've been assigned to do it, don't quit. To Geeky Girls Journal. How are you today? I hope that everybody's doing well. I was trying to get the lighting right, but as you can see, my face looks, just real sunny in here, and I appreciate the sun. Thank God for the sun. But I know it's looking a little, ghostly or whatever you would like to call it. But hopefully, it just does not take away from the live experience. I was, like I said, trying to make it a better experience for you, but I don't think that's going to happen today. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So, what I wanted to talk about today is when you feel like quitting, do not give up. And I have this little story to share with you all. So I want to share this story with you all. And it just kind of encouraged me because I needed a little bit of encouragement. And I want to ask you all a question. So as you're coming in, I want you to answer the question, what are you good at? What are you good at? So if you don't mind putting that in the chat, and if you're watching a replay, just put it in the comment section. What are you good at? Tell me something that you're good at. When you feel like quitting, that's what we're talking about. When you feel like quitting, do not give up. Just realize that this is something that you were created to do, and obviously you have a desire to do whatever it is that you were supposed to do. So when you feel like quitting, I want you to just continue to push on, pursue whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. Do the thing, do whatever it is that you feel in your heart that you should be doing. And I want to give you all, a, a, I want to share a story with you. So most of you know that Geeky Girls Journal is my business. That is why I ended up on YouTube. And Geeky Girls Journal has definitely been a road that's just been filled with ups and downs and turns and just valleys and mountains. And I've been in some situations where I'm just like, Lord, is this really what you want for me? Is this what you want me to do? Is this the direction that I should be going? I've questioned it along the way. I've asked why, of course. I ask continuously if this is the path that I should be on. And sometimes I get an answer, and sometimes I just get quiet. I just hear nothing. And I'm like, Lord, where are you when I need this answer? I want to know right now because I'm one of those. Like, I want to know right now. So that's what's happened. And if I'm being honest, it's been a very lonely road, because I don't know. I didn't when I first started. I didn't know many other people on the same journey. I didn't know what I should do. I didn't know which way to go. So I just started doing something that felt natural to me, and I initially wanted to start this journey because I wanted to help others that were in the same situation. So I wanted to be a problem solver, and I still want to be a problem solver. And sometimes when you're trying to navigate difficult things that may feel difficult, rather at that moment when you're trying to navigate those paths and figure things out, what should I do to make this business successful? In my case, I'm just using my business for example. What types of products should I offer? Who am I reaching? What's my audience look like? You have all those different questions that come up, and you're trying to make decisions. So sometimes you feel like you're on that road by yourself. Sometimes you feel like you're on that path and You're just trying to figure it out. So I was exercising the other day, you all. Yeah, something I do sometimes. And my 4-year-old was in our exercise in a workout room with me, and I was first of all, I was doing laundry because I had this whole list of things to do. Let me tell you all, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 5, if you didn't know, and I also have this small business, Geeky Girls Journal, and I try to balance and navigate all those things the best way that I can. And in this moment, I was being mom, right? I was doing things that I need to do in order to keep my house afloat. So I was washing loads and loads of laundry. And my daughter said to me, my 4-year-old, Mom, I want to go work out. So I said, okay, you go ahead, you work out while I wash the clothes, while I dry the clothes, while I fold the other load. And I'm trying to balance all those things together. And then she said to me, so I let her exercise. She was running, she was jumping, she was kicking, she was boxing, she was doing everything, and she had the energy. And I was just looking at her like, wow, I wish I had that kind of energy. And what I realized was that God put me in a special place in my life where I'm older, but also I have these young, vibrant children that require my time, require my energy. So it's called me to do some things that I just did not even imagine before I had kids. So one of those things is just making sure that I'm present, being present for them, and just trying to do those things that are necessary. So anyway, my daughter's like, Mom, the workout, blah, 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 blah. So she's working out. I finished putting a load of clothes in the washer, and I finished putting a load of clothes in the dryer. And I had this basket full of clothes, and I'm going over there, and me and my mommy, Andrea Mo, who's always trying to get things done, I turn to her and I say, Hey, we got to go upstairs. I need to do work. I have some things to do. I have some things on my list. I need to get them done before it's time to pick your sisters up. And she says, Mom, just a little bit longer. Can I just please, Mom, can I work out? And I was like, okay, just 5 more minutes. I can give you 5 more minutes. So as she's working and exercising, she requires my help. And so then I say, you know what? Maybe this is a time I can really be in a moment, be present, and I can put the basket down and go join her. So I decided to get on this workout bench. And I don't know what this is called, you guys, but maybe you can tell me. Hey, Ruthie, how are you? Thank you for coming in. So I made the decision to go to the workout bench, and I put my arms on it, and then I just started doing these lifts. I don't even know what they're technically called, but I just felt like, hey, I need to do some lifts. I want to strengthen my arms and, just be toned and have those muscles. So I was like, hey, let me just go over there and do some lifts. And I'm going up and down. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do 10. So I did 10. And I was like, I did 10. That's the best thing ever. I need to do this more often, but not. Let me go tackle this list of things that I had to do. Of course, my 4-year-old did not understand what I was talking about because she's like, I see you doing the things all the time, but can you just please be in this moment with me? So I said, okay. So she said to me, so I said, all right, I did the 10. I did 10. I'm done. And she's like, Mom, you can do it. Mom, you can do it. You should do some more. Mom, you can do it. So I had this 4-year-old just like really speaking and encouraging me at this moment. And she was like, Mom, you could do it. You could do it. Do some more. Come on, you can do it. So I was like, you know what? You're right. I can't do some more for you. I'm going to do one more. And I was like, you know what? Let me do 5 more. That 5 turned into 10. And my point of this story is, for me, it took that 4-year-old just to say, Mom, I believe in you. Mom, you can do it. Mom, you got this. And when she said that, I was just like, oh, I know I can do it. I can do it. I'm going to do it for you. And all it took was just that little push to get me back on track to say, okay, I do have these other tasks that need to be accomplished. And I have a whole list of things that I often need to get done. And I just needed somebody to affirm me in that moment and say, hey, Mom, you got it. And for her, she was just saying it for that, Mom, you can work out, do some more, you got it. But for me, it was like a mental switch went off in my head. And I was like, okay, I have it with the exercise. I got this with momming. I need to figure out what I need to continue to do to make my business grow, what I need to continue to do to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And I feel like in that moment, you're not a quitter. You don't quit. You don't quit. You don't quit. You keep going. You figure out a way to solve these problems and you figure out some solutions. And that is exactly what I did. After my daughter encouraged me, I went upstairs, I finished folding clothes, I put clothes away, and then I immediately went upstairs to my room, to my office. My office, by the way, you guys, is wherever I can find space, wherever there is no activity at that moment. Most of the time, there is activity, but if I can find some time where I can have quiet, just like right now for a couple minutes. Right now, thank God, my 17-year-old was like, Mom, if you do it, I will go pick up, she'll go pick up my 13-year-old, but she can't get the younger one. So I was like, okay, good. Just give me until 3 o'clock. I got it. I can do it. So sometimes it just requires us to get in a quiet place and to think about those things that we need to have done. Think about those things that we've already accomplished. I had to think about where I came from. When I first started YouTube, I had 0 followers. I didn't know anybody on YouTube. I didn't have any. I hadn't made any connections. I was just coming on just to kind of get a feel for things. I wanted to promote my business, so I showed up on YouTube you know, to be honest with you, I showed up on YouTube first just to secure the name. I was like, you know what? I need to get on there and get my name, Geeky Girls Journal, before somebody else snatches it. And then that way, whenever I feel like putting some videos up in the future, I'm going to do it. So for me, just jumping into it and saying, at least I have the channel. If I ever want to use it, I have it there and then I can figure it out along the way. So when you feel like quitting, before you just stop everything and say, I no longer want to do this, think about your other options. Think about your alternatives. What can you do to complete that task? What can you do to reach that specific goal? Right? For me, my specific goal is, hey, Irvin, thank you for coming in. Thank you. I see you. For me, the goal that I want to reach, I want to reach others. Would I like to be profitable in my business? Of course I would. I put in hours and hours of work. I'm up to the late wee hours of the day or night, sorry about that, night, and I'm up early, I go to bed late, and I know that's what it takes for entrepreneurship. And it was this thing going around years ago where they were saying entrepreneurship is sexy. I don't know who came up with that. Yes, it's great to have your own business. It's great to have something of your own and to develop this thing. I know a lot of, if you all know the term bootstrap, where you start from the beginning and you just kind of you pour into this business or you try to figure things out along the way. There have been a few times where I'm just like, should I be done with this, Lord? Should I be done? Should I quit? Should I, should I do something else? And I don't ever really feel like I get a solid answer. I get pieces of the puzzle here and there. Like I get a little piece here. I might get one extra subscriber that I didn't have yesterday. If I'm on any of the social media platforms, I might get a comment, and that comment keeps me going, for the next whatever amount of time. It keeps me going. Or somebody says to me, hey, you're doing a wonderful job. I'm like, okay, thank you. So that'll keep me going. Or somebody will say, it's always something encouraging that someone pours into me, and I think, hey, nobody's paying attention, but they really are paying attention. And it just kind of pushes me to continue to continue to stay in the race. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. You feel like quitting, don't quit. Don't say, I'm over this. There's nothing here for me to do. I want you to continue to do what's necessary. If it looks like for you, if you're trying to lose weight, for example, and you say, I only lost a pound. Well, there was a pound more that you lost the day before. So you continue on that exercise regimen. You continue to eat healthy. You continue to consume things that are going to give you the desires and that personal weight goal that you want. If it's running a business, what is it that you need to do in a business to change it? Do you feel like you're overextending yourself? Because for me, I know I overextend myself. I often feel like I'm being pulled in this direction, that direction, and sometimes it can be suffocating. And you can feel like, oh, I just need 10 seconds. I need not only 10 seconds just to breathe, I need 10 seconds to figure out what my next move is. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Thank you for sharing me out. I need 10 seconds to figure out what my next move is. I need to just figure things out. So when you're trying to figure things out, is there anybody I had a question. Oh yeah, I have a question for you. Who encourages you? Who encourages you? And if you would like to join me on this panel today, let me know if you're out there and you feel like there is something that you can contribute to this conversation. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll drop the link for you so you can come on up and join me. So you can come on up and join me. So we're talking about when you're feeling like quitting. What encourages you to continue? What keeps you motivated? Is there a little voice inside you that says keep going, or is it just you being ambitious and having the desire? Is it you just having a desire to continue to go? And do you say, hey, I want to see this happen. I want to make this grow. For me, it's a desire. It's also a personal mission. It's a personal mission for me to say, hey, I want to reach millions of women and girls. And I know, what, I'm going to say something. It's probably not going to be popular, but also a lot of times people say, if I just touch one person, I'm fine. I don't want to lie to you. Touching one person is fine with me if that's all that I'm supposed to have. But I want to touch more than one person. I would really like to be a game changer. I don't want everything that I'm doing to feel like it was for nothing. Does that make sense to anybody out there? I want to feel like all those hours I put in, all that sacrifice, me not doing certain things, not hanging out, not me wanting to go to sleep. What about that? Me just wanting to go to sleep at night, and then that desire that says, no, you can't go to sleep. You need to stay up. You have some products to make. You have some ideas that need to be cultivated. You have some problems that need to be solved. You have a Shopify account that you need to do some work on. And also you have a community that needs your attention. And what does that look like sometimes? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I go with the flow. I try to figure things out. I try to think about what are some problems that I need solutions to? What are some questions that I have? What are some issues that I think people need to have solved? And by the way, I have the Sunday evening live coming up. I have no idea what I'm talking about for the Sunday evening live. I usually don't even the past couple of weeks I actually had ideas, so I just kind of put them up early so that I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about on Sunday. But most of the time, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about when I even come on these lives. I'm just like, what am I going to say? And I have to go with whatever's on my heart at that moment. It could be 5, 6 different things because I told you all before, my mind it's like a circus sometimes. It's and a circus might not be the best analogy, but sometimes it's so many thoughts just coming to me all at once that I have to try to contain them and box them and say, okay, put this thought here, table that thought, come back to this one, do that one. And it's about trying to figure out which one is going to work best for me at that moment. And I know people say when you have a business, you need to be planned out, you need to figure out how you're going to do things. But I'm going to tell you all, I am pretty fly by the seat of my pants. I'm being honest, I'm pretty fly by the seat of my pants. I do try to have a solid plan, but a lot of times a plan does not go as planned. It's like opposite sometimes of what I thought. Sometimes I get on here and I'm talking about something and it goes another direction. So if I were thinking about when you feel like quitting, maybe somebody who is not like me would say, "Oh my gosh, I blew that live stream. I went in there and I was supposed to talk about when you feel like quitting, and instead I started talking about what you should do in your business and how you should react to others." And for me, it's okay because I have come to the conclusion that I am not a perfect person. Um, I'm not a perfect person. That's it. I can share, I can have my specific thoughts, just like I did. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of, I wouldn't say rambling because I think hopefully somebody will get something out of something that I said today because I don't want it to be for nothing. So um, I don't know. I think that people feel like quitting in life sometimes because life is a difficult journey. We want to we want to package it high res. We want to high res, how you doing? We want to package it up and sell it as if it's simple and you can get through things effortlessly and not have any issues. But the truth is, we're going to have some issues. We're going to have trials. We're going to have tribulations. Same girl. How are you? Hi, Grammy. How are you? We're going to have those things that we go through. We're going to have those difficult times in life. We're going to be anxious about certain things. We're going to have time periods where we just have no clue what is happening in our life. And I was listening to this guy earlier, and he was talking about, I think his name is Gary B, but he was talking about how at 20 years old, and I have a child that's almost 20, so this is probably why I caught my attention, and how parents, and I know parents mean the best because I'm a parent and I always mean the best for my kids, but how you have a 20-year-old or someone that's in high school and you're like, hey, you got to get yourself together. What do you want to do with your life? You need to figure things out. You need to figure things out and figure them out now. I don't say that to my kids though. I say, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to do? What is your passion? What's your desire? What would you like to do? And I think that if we gave people the space to figure it out, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't feel like quitting so much. Okay, you're doing good. Great. I'm glad to hear that, young Riz. Yeah, maybe they won't feel like quitting so much. What do you all think about that? If we give people space to just be themselves and try different things and venture out and stretch themselves, do you think that their desire to quit would be reduced? Yeah, so if you think that their desire to quit will be reduced, because if you're doing something that you enjoy doing, if you're doing something that you enjoy doing, most of the time, you're not going to want to quit. I mean, it's going to be difficult. So you very well might have some times you're like, oh, I want to quit, but your desire to complete that task or to make that business flourish is more than your desire to quit. Does that make any sense? Because I go through that a lot. I'm like, my desire to be a great mom, you know, is my desire to be a good mom overshadows my rough patches, when I'm telling the kids to do something and they have selective hearing and they're like, oh, I didn't even hear you, mom, but I said it twice. You heard me. I said it twice. But my desire is just like, okay, God, you gave me these five. I want to be the best example. I want to be the best that I can be for them. And I know I'm not a perfect person, but I want to be the best. Hey, bud, how you doing? I want to be the best person that I can be for them. I want to be the person that stewards who God has given me. Um, And I know I'm going all the way off on a tangent, you all, but I do this all the time. So if you're here, you already know that. When you feel like quitting, let me pull myself back on task. Okay, so when you feel like quitting, it does it goes along with what I was saying. If you're a mom and you feel like quitting being a mom, you can't quit being a mom because you are a mom. And I think you were given that task. I know you were given that task because it's a task that you can handle. It's a task that you can handle. So you're given the task of being a mom. You're given the task of nurturing somebody. You're given a task of um, showing these gifts that you have been given from God how to live life, showing them examples of how to work through difficult situations. You're showing them examples of, how to be the best version of themselves, even if you don't get it right that day. Even if you don't get it right, it's still you fully being authentic and you trying to do the best you can do. If you have a business, yeah, you're going to flop sometimes. And by the way, if you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur and you think everything is going to be a smooth street with no bumps, no hills, no dirt roads ahead, no signs. You all know those warning signs you see on the street. If you think that you're not going to have any of those signs, you are sadly mistaken, because there are going to be plenty of them. There's going to be some time when you're like, okay, I need money to do this. For example, I listened to content, and I was a part of this group, and it was free to get you in the door. And I always try to listen and learn from other people's experiences and to try to see how I can make it fit into my life and how I can do things better, how I can make them work for me. And this is, again, me not quitting, me wanting to be successful, and me wanting to um, pursue different avenues and to get it right, to be able to, make something out of nothing. If I started at nothing and then just saying, I want to build on this business, I want to make it more successful. I want to make it for my business. I want it to be something that can help somebody else out, like I said earlier. So anyway, I was listening to this live, and the guy was saying, they were giving you tips, but you know how somebody will give you tips, like a little bit of tips, just enough to get you in the door, give you a little bit here and a little bit there, and then they upsell you. So the upsell was $10,000 to get this coach. And I was just like, $10,000? Like, what average business? I know there are a lot out there. I'm not one of them. What business? My business. I'll make this personal. I can't afford $10,000 for a 1 hour coaching. It was like a 1 hour coaching fee. He said it was $10,000 that he dropped, and somebody else is like, they dropped $50,000. And I was just like, how do you compete? How do you compete with that? How do you compete I am a stay-at-home mom. I taught years ago, but my husband and I, when I was pregnant with my second, decided that it makes more sense for me to stay home and teach my children, because our goal was that we didn't want our kids going into the school system not knowing how to read, not knowing how to do math, and I already had that skill set. So I said, you know what? My husband said, hey, how do you feel about staying home and being with the girls? And at the time I was just kind of like, no, I want my paycheck. I want to have my own money. I don't know how that's going to work. But then, while I was pregnant and people were getting on my nerves, I'll just say that. And it wasn't the kids, by the way, because I taught, it wasn't the kids, it was administrators. And I was just like, okay, that might not be a bad idea. I think I might just do that, and we'll see how it works out. And I did. And it was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice. We had to learn how to, what's important, where do we need to shave things? Hey, Frugal Mama, how you doing? Where do we basically, what do we need? What's a necessity? That's the way to look at it. What's a necessity? And then, so let's look at our needs, and then let's look at our wants. And if I'm being honest with you guys, which I would have never thought this would happen, when I stopped working, I feel like I got more. And I know this might sound kind of weird. Like, when I was working, yes, I had a paycheck and I was able, and this is not a knock to anybody that works, because I think what moms do, moms that have to stay home, that's a sacrifice. Moms that go to work, that's a sacrifice. So whichever category that you're in, God bless you, because it's a struggle both ways. And I'm not one of those that's on one side or the other, like, hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so stay-at-home moms are better. They rule. We rock. Moms that go to work, you suck. No, moms that go to work, moms that stay at home, we both make sacrifices. The moms that go to work, you don't see your kids. You may not see your kids all day. Moms that go to work, you have a different you have a different set of requirements throughout that day than moms who stay at home. I the position that I was in, it was a blessing that I was able to stay because the daycare was taking all of my check. Here you go, take it. So if your daycare is taking all the check, if the learning center is taking your check, and you say, hey, I might as well be at home. That's what we did. I might as well be home. And like I said, I might as well be home and keep my check to myself. And because it was taking it anyway, I was just working to get a check to the daycare. So anyway, I know I went off on a tangent again, but if you can relate, let me know. Put a one over in the comment section. So with me being able to stay home, I will say that it's been a blessing. I've been able to teach my children the way that I want to teach them and impart life lessons in them, things that I know they probably would have never gotten from anybody else. Because guess what? I love them and I'm going to give them my best. I'm going to make sure that they're prepared. And that's what we did. So all my kids before school, before going into school, they knew how to read. They were reading at higher levels than they came in, second and third grade levels. So felt like I did my job on that end. I felt like, okay, I got this mother thing. I got it. I was teaching. I was doing a great job teaching my kids at my house. It's like, if I can teach other people's kids, I got this with my own kids. I had them 24 hours a day, though. That thing sometimes, I needed to be able to go in the corner and say, hey, listen, you all, I need 5 minutes. Give me 10, not 5. Give me 10 minutes. And also, I feel as a working mom, I missed a lot. Yes, Grammy, that's something that I hear often from working moms. When I was a working mom, that was only with my first child. And I felt like the time frame that I was working from that 7 to 3:34, if I didn't have the teacher meetings, if I didn't have the conferences and all the extra stuff that you do, if I didn't have those, I was generally picking her up around 3 o'clock from daycare, from somebody else's house. And when I would pick her up, I'd be like, what? Okay, so what did you learn all day? And my daughter knew jingles. She knew the commercials that were coming on TV. And I'd be like, no, this can't happen. A little, I need her to know something other than the Barney song. And nothing against Barney. I wanted her to be able to have a little bit more substance. And I knew I could give that to her. But that was not the moment in which I can do it. And I can remember specifically being after school one day as a teacher and my daughter being in daycare, and I had to pay extra money for her to be there after hours. And I would be in the classroom doing extra paperwork and waiting for this meeting that we had, like the teacher, you do conferences and stuff like that. And I was saying, oh, I got to go get my daughter. And the daycare lady was like, okay, it's going to cost you extra. So I was like, oh man, okay. I knew I had to pay extra. So I did that. So the next day when I was at school, the same thing happened. We didn't have any teacher meetings, but I was staying after trying to get paperwork and stuff done. And I knew I had to pick my daughter up at a certain time. So I said, you know what? Today is not the day. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And I left, and my administrator the next day came and said, oh, you're leaving out of here faster than the kids. Your wheels are, zooming on out of here. And I was just like, the audacity, right? I feel like, how dare she say that when every day I'm sitting here busting my behind, working, teaching other people's kids, which I loved doing, by the way. I did like teaching other people's kids. I did like interacting with the children, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point is, the lady came and said to me that I was leaving the building before the kids would leave, and then my wheels were screeching out. This is what she said, you're screeching out of the parking lot before the kids leave, which was not true, because first of all, you have to see your class out. You got to make sure all the kids get out of the building. You got to make sure that they get to their person, the adult that is picking them up safely, then you got to stay a couple minutes afterwards to prepare for the next day. And that's what I did all the time. So I feel like you're telling me an hour after is not good enough for you when I'm paying extra money for my child to be in a daycare, and I'm paying her extra money so that I can be here to try to make the next day run smoother and to teach other people's children and to allow this thing that we're calling a school and education to run a little bit more smoothly. And I just felt like she was being ungrateful, because I was making so many sacrifices. So I did feel like I lost out on my first child. Like I lost out on a lot of that. Like the first few years, it was 2 years for her. It was just 2 years, because I was pregnant again. And then when I got pregnant with my second, I was like, oh, it's time to go. It's time to go. My husband, when he made that offer, oh, I jumped on it like white on rice. Yep, goodbye. I'm out of here. Like I said, at first I wasn't too excited about giving up my paycheck, but I did know, after I thought about it, that it was something that had to happen. So I can understand, you know, feeling like you're missing a lot as a working mom, because you do. You miss out. You might miss out on their first steps. You might miss out on the first words. You might miss out on, Grammy. You might miss out on so many things. Them catching on, you might miss out on them singing a song for the first time. It's so much that you do lose as a working mom. And I'm only saying that because I was able to experience both. And I'm just giving you my experience. The thing that I remember is my eldest, when I was grading papers one day, and actually it was a report card. I was filling out a report card, and my daughter came in and she was just like, I think she had enough of me bringing work home, because I would do that every day, bring work home. And I wasn't getting paid for it, but I was grading paper. I was doing everything. If you're a teacher, you understand what I'm talking about. Um, Writing out sentences, doing all types of stuff, figuring out what the homework is going to be and um, what the enrichment is going to be. And I won't go into detail because people who are not teaching, like, what is she talking about? But anyway, just know that it was other things that were included instead of just trying to, and here comes under my little pumpkin thing. Hey, you coming in with mama? Okay. She can come. Oh, you're mom. Yeah, I am. It's fine. Thank you. So yeah, sorry about that. You all know I have my little pumpkin pies over here. So I was, I was grading, I was filling out the report card, and I had one of them, and my daughter like took the report card and she was about to rip it. I was like, no, don't rip it, because I work for the city and we only had, if you had 35 kids in the class, you got 35 report cards. So if she would have ripped the report card, oh, I would have had to go get something from somebody else. So anyway, my point is saying, when you're feeling like quitting, that one, I felt like quitting that day. Goodbye. But hey, sunshine. Hi. So yeah, I felt like quitting that day, but it was after, when I was pregnant with my second, that I was able to leave that situation, and I was able to come home and be a mom as I am to her 4-year-old. And so she's a prime example, not in daycare, but I'm able to stay with her and teach her words, which we're doing right now. She's learning how to read and doing all those other things. So yeah, when you miss a lot. But if you are a stay-at-home mom, you get the benefit of being able to share those moments with your kids that you may not otherwise be able to do if you're working. So yeah, sometimes. So anyway, when you feel like quitting, you guys, don't quit. Don't give up. If you have somebody in your life that can encourage you, let me know in the chat. If you have somebody that encourages you, that helps you to see that what you're doing is not a waste of your time, and they can be that person to remind you sometimes, you're doing awesome, and they are also that person that can give you some insight. Maybe you can go to them and they say, hey, you should do this, you should do that. I just wanted to basically come on to encourage you all to keep going, and so here we are. I thought that I was going to be up here alone and talking to you all, but I'm a mom in there. This is what's required of me. See, this is the other side of being a stay-at-home mom, that you don't have peace. All right, thank you all. Sorry about that. If you're a mom, you know. Yeah, so when you feel like quitting, don't quit. Give it your all. Try to figure out what works best for you and how you can make things happen. Um, Write some goals down. If if you feel stuck, this is a good one. If you feel stuck, I've often felt stuck. I still feel stuck when I'm doing things as it pertains to my business. If you feel stuck, get yourself a mentor. That's what I hear you should do. I don't have one. Perhaps I need one. um, get a mentor. And even in life, you know what? You can get a mentor. Oh, yeah, you can get a mentor. This kind of goes back with what I was saying earlier about the guy who was saying, people in their 20s, that the parents are saying things like, you got to figure out what you're going to do with your life. And then, I was thinking, and then he said it as I was thinking about it, you're an adult and you don't even have it all figured out. You don't even have it all figured out. I'm an adult. I don't have it all figured out. Hey, Tay, how are you today? I'm an adult. I don't have it figured out. And sometimes I'm like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I think, what is my best move? Like, what should I be doing right now to reach that goal? For me, if it's working out wise, it's not easy, because working out is not easy. Like, you got to put some effort into that. You need to have a consistent schedule. But I know what I should do. You meditate. Oh, Tay says I meditate. It helps a lot. Yes, Tay, meditating helps a lot. Do you meditate like with chants and full out, like, or do you just? I know some people listen to like the ambient sounds, the calming music, rain sounds, things like that. So that helps you, Tay, listening to you meditate, or do you mean meditate like you meditate on the word? I do that when definitely when I feel like quitting. Thank you, Tay. You brought me back around. When you feel like quitting, you can meditate on a word. I often, when I feel like quitting, I have a support system in members of my family that I can go to, and I say, hey, this is just beat me up right now. What would you do if X, Y, and Z were happening? How would you approach the situation? And if you have people in your life like that you can go to, that's helpful. Most of the time, I just like to figure things out myself, and that's my first thing. I'll go to the Bible and I'll read some chapters, and I'm like, okay, I gotta try to figure this out. Hopefully I can go to it and just land on something that's gonna help me out. You know how sometimes you just like, I wanted to open the Bible and I wanted to fall on something that's gonna pertain to my situation right now. And I'm like reading, I'm like, nah, this is not what I was thinking about. This is not pertaining to my situation, but it's helping me out in another area that I didn't know I needed to work on. And so then I guess ultimately it is helping me to figure out the situation, because maybe I needed to work on that area first before I worked on the next situation. So Grammy's journal says, my life was actually really fast, and no, I just totally know that I just need to become, and I see the brighter and have time to think and also be me. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense. So you said my life was actually really fast. So it went fast, and I can see that life happen. It does happen fast. It's kind of like sometimes it just goes and you don't even know. Me, I don't even know one day from the next. A lot of times my days just merge, like it's all one big old day. The whole week is just one big day. Like, I have some things that happen within the course of those days that are different from the day before, but mostly it's a lot of the same routine. Get up in the morning. I try to read. I have the YouVersion app, so I try to read the scriptures to start my day. Sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes I just fail completely at doing that. I get up, you know, just get up and get up. Oh, rush, let's go. I get the kids ready, go out the door. It takes me about 2 hours to get everybody where they need to go. And I come back home and I'm with my young one, and I say, okay, we need to learn some words. I need to teach you how to do this. We're going to teach you how to read today. We're going to teach you some words, some high frequency words. We're going to teach you some sounds, whatever it is. I'm trying to focus on her at that moment to try to figure out what it is I need to do in her life. And then I'm like, okay, while I have her settled and gave her something to eat and a snack, I'm like, okay, maybe I can look at some things that I need to do business wise. I need to figure out um, how to increase my followers, or how to get more engagement, or if I'm just looking at the business side, what can I do? It's I'm sorry, you. I was distracted. My daughter's asleep. So I would have to think about some things. What can I do to move my business forward? And again, I'm doing that just on my own, trying to figure it out because I don't have a mentor. I don't have somebody that I can look to. I don't have a blueprint. So it's a lot of just trial and error trying to figure it out. There's a lot of YouTube involved in there too, if I'm being honest. It's a lot of watching videos, listening to um, self-development videos and how I can do things better. And let me see what you all are saying over there. Yeah, Tay says rain sounds. Yeah, I like the sound of rain too, Tay. My kids, they listen to that all the time when it's time for them to go to bed. Like they listen to rain sounds. But I also start having them listen to like this preacher, Pastor Mike, if you all have heard of him before, Pastor Mike. So they listen to him before it's time to go to bed. Everybody's saying, hi, Grammy's hi. So, yeah, so I like to listen to Rain. Oh, Tay says she meditates. That's what we went with that. I completely forgot where I was going. So, I got a good idea, you guys. When you feel like quitting, I just remembered. When you feel like quitting, the one thing you can do is I said go to somebody that you trust. Go to somebody that you know has your best interest at heart. Go to somebody that is going to tell you the truth. Go to somebody that can give you some good counsel, wise counsel and suggestion. Also, you don't want to go to somebody who has not experienced what it is that you're going through. You might want to find somebody who's actually has some experience in that specific area. So if you feel like quitting, go to somebody who is seasoned in that area. Ask them, what would you do? How have you been through this? What are some things you would suggest for me? Okay, so you can do that. When you feel like quitting, you can listen to something motivational. That's always a good one. It's a whole lot of motivational messages and inspirational messages out there on YouTube. It's a lot of people that want to lift your spirit. It's a lot of people that want to see you do well. It's a lot of people that want to reinforce confidence. It's a lot of people that want to just brighten your day a little bit. I'm one of those. I would love to brighten your day a little bit, however I can. Also, I think I'm just leaning a lot more towards self-development, like just being a better person and seeing what this journey looks like. Because I'm telling you all, sometimes I'm just like, what? I don't understand it. I'm like, God, why are you taking me to the left when I wanted to go right? I don't know what it is that you want me to do right now. Okay, mommy will help you in a second. So, okay, Young Riz says he listens to music. That's a great way to do it too. Young Riz, is any particular type of music? Classical music, hip hop, R&B. What is it? Music is a great outlet. When you feel like quitting, you can listen to music. Riz also says, I talk to people I trust. That was another thing we talked about. You can talk to people you trust. Tay says, I'm good. Okay, you can talk to people you trust. And like I said, make sure it's somebody who is not just like a yes person. Make sure it's somebody who can give you good advice, who can share maybe their wins and losses with you, who can be a little bit vulnerable. Because sometimes that's what you need. You don't want you want to hear that somebody else may have experienced that same difficulty, that you're going through, because they have the experience and you feel like, okay, they've had the experience. They made it through this. I made it through it, which is a reason why, you all remember if you ever went to church, testimony service. I used to love testimony service because in testimony service, people would always talk about, what they overcame and how God brought them through certain things and how they were blessed and how they were able to get over this obstacle. And I would just be sitting there like, that was one of my favorite parts of service because I love to hear a good story. How about you all? You love to hear a good story, and I love to hear a story where somebody overcomes. You all like my shirt, uplift, inspire, elevate. So I know that was off topic and random, but anyway, uplift, inspire, elevate. So I said that because those testimonies would uplift me, they would inspire me, and they would elevate me, because I would hear somebody who in my mind I thought, okay, they're a regular person just like me, that's going through something, and yet they made it through. So I feel like stories like that, if you can see that somebody made it through something, that you're also able to make it through. And for me, that helps me not to quit. It helps me to say, hey, I'm not a quitter. I never was. I'm a winner. I'm a winner, and I can overcome this challenge. Whatever the challenge may be in your life at that moment, you can overcome it. You don't have to worry about um, doing everything perfectly, because we're not perfect people. And I think that was the other thing. Sometimes being a perfectionist, sometimes being a perfectionist would make you want to quit, because if you feel like it's not going perfectly, or if you didn't master that specific skill within a certain amount of time, not right now. Just hold on a second. If you didn't master that skill within a specific amount of time, if you didn't do whatever it is that you set in your mind to do exactly the way that you were supposed to do it, if you deviated just a little bit, you may have gotten discouraged and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. And you throw your hands up. But what you got to realize is you're not perfect. You're not going to ever be perfect. And I can say that because I was that person. I thought everything has to be done just so if I don't hit that mark exactly the way that I planned, and I missed it. But I learned that I'm imperfect. I cannot hit the mark perfectly every time, because I am not a perfect person. I can come very close. Come in. I can come very close, but there are going to be times where I'm not going to be satisfied with what I've done. And it's okay. And we can talk about resiliency, and how if you don't get it done exactly right, it's okay to do it again. It's okay to start over. It's okay to figure out another way to do it. It's okay. You don't have to just say, hey, I give up. I wash my hands of this thing. I'm done. So as I'm speaking, I'm thinking, it's also about your level of commitment. How committed are you? How committed are you to making that thing happen? Most of you are YouTubers. How committed are you to growing your community? How committed are you to growing your channel? That's the same thing basically. How committed are you to helping someone? How committed are you to growing your business? How committed are you? Or are you just somebody who throws in a towel as soon as you mess up? Because let me tell you something. In life, we're going to make. Give me 1 second, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, go take it in there. Take it in your room.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Love you. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Close mommy's door, please. Or crack it. Thank you. Okay.
Lock it.
No, don't lock it. Don't lock it. Don't lock it. I need to be able to hear you. Keep it like that. Don't close it all the way. Thank you. Okay, Tay says I'm good. Riz says I listen to hip hop and UK hip hop. Young Riz says absolutely. Tay says she started that product in her home. That video will motivate you because it sure helped me. I don't know what I missed, Tay, but I apologize because I must have missed something. I don't know. Yeah, so somebody started a product in their home, and that video will motivate you because it sure helped me. Tay, if you drop the video so I can see the video that you're talking about and motivate you, that would be helpful. Or say who the person's name is so that everybody will know. Or maybe you all saw that and I just missed it because I was, talking to Baby Boo. I'm trying to scroll up to see. I guess I missed it, Tay. Okay, here's Tay's comment. Oh, this is probably to explain. I noticed my comment didn't show up, but I was trying to say I watched this girl channel and she shows the journey of Mael and how she started that product in her kitchen. Very motivating. And she goes, I know who you're talking about. What is her name? She did start Mael. I can't remember what her name is, Tay, but I buy her product for my kids. I buy a lot of different products because, first of all, there are 6 heads of hair in my house, and everybody's hair is very thick. We all have different curl patterns, but everybody's hair is very thick for the most part. So all of our hair kind of requires something different. So my 2 older daughters, they use Mael all the time, and I just bought a lot of her products. Monique, is her name Monique? I think her name is Monique. And I actually reached out to Mael one time. I was like, hey, you want to do this? Is when I was first starting YouTube, and I wanted, and I still do, I wanted girls and women to see other women that were doing something, like making a difference, making an imprint in the world. And I saw her story. I was like, oh, I should ask her to come in. So I did. I sent an email and everything. And, that didn't happen, obviously, because I would have had her on my video. In fact, Monique, if you're listening, Mael, I believe your name is Monique, and you want to connect with me, get in touch with my people. My people is me, because I don't have a team. Just my people is me. Send me an email, geekygirlsjournal@gmail.com, or anybody who would like to get on here and tell their story. You know what? Not just her. Any woman that is making an imprint. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot my shot right now on this video. Any woman that's making a difference, that's making an imprint, that wants to share her story, because I believe that sharing our story would help somebody else. Sharing your story helps other women and helps other people, because you never know who you're helping. So if anybody would like to join me and just have a conversation, it's not going to be, it's just going to be casual, just like this. If you want to join me and have a conversation and you want to tell me your story, I welcome it, because I am pivoting. I pivoted a little bit when I first started the company. My message is still ultimately the same, because I want people to be the very best version of themselves. And I feel like when you're developing and you're changing, you're becoming the best version of yourself. You're becoming the best version of yourself. So I think, just like testimony service, because I told you all how much I like testimony service, and it wasn't just because people were shouting all that stuff. I actually like to hear the stories. So I would love to do that. If anybody would like to share their story with me, Geeky Girls Journal, and the rest of my audience, the rest of this community, let me know. geekygirlsjournal.com. In fact, I'm going to type it in the text box. Just email me. It's also on, can't post messages sometimes. It's also on my YouTube page if you want to get in touch with me, geekygirlsjournal.com, or send me a message through IG, Facebook, whatever platform you're on. Go to any of my videos here and leave me a comment underneath. Just say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'd like to have a conversation with you. So just let me know, because I'm very interested in doing that. But I'm going to put my email address in here just in case. Girlsjournal@gmail.com, and just send me a message and let me know if you want to. Okay, so I see I missed some comments. Sorry, Tay. I'm gonna catch up, Tay. I'm coming. And Grammy and whoever else is here. I had to learn that tomorrow is a new day. Oh man, Grammy. Yes, it's a new day, and we can't beat ourselves up about what we didn't do yesterday. It's over. It's over and done with. We look at today and plan for tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow to make it a better day? If your plans don't go as planned tomorrow, did you come close to reaching those goals? Did you do anything different? Did you do more than you did the day before? Let's look at it like that, because you have you have very little control, actually, of the things that can happen. I have a lot of things that I plan my days out, but I have so many things that just pop up throughout the day that I did not plan for. Oh, it's basketball practice today. Oh, they changed volleyball practice. Now I got to go. Volleyball practice was at this location. Now it's at that location. So now I got to adjust my schedule. Now I have to try to figure out how I'm going to get from this place to that place. So you got to make a lot of adjustments. You have to be flexible. You can't just say, I quit, I quit, I quit because I can't get to this practice. I can't get to that practice. How can you make it work? How can you make both things work? We all have Mayo products in our home. That's a multi-business. Yeah, she's doing her thing. I'm so glad. She actually enlarged her territory a couple years ago. I don't know if you saw that tape, but she expanded. Like I can't remember how much land it was and how big her buildings are, but she's doing a great job. Last time I checked on her story, and trying to think of, also she was giving away money. This was a couple years back, maybe last year, the year before. She had some type of contest or a challenge where she had small business owners, and I didn't know about it. I found out about it later, but she had small business owners come in and just kind of pitch to her what their product was, and what services they provided and what they did, and she ended up contributing like a large sum of money to each business. I think at first they all thought it was going to be one winner, but I think she just blessed the finalists, so they all got something. And I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, let's see what Tay says. Her name is Jax Ayana, taught me on YouTube. I'm gonna write this down so I can see who that is. JASAIG. Aigna taught me on YouTube. Jesse taught me. Okay, I'm gonna look her up. Thank you, Tay. Oh, okay, thank you, Tay. And then Tay says, yes, I love watching that girl channel. She breaks down Black-owned brands because honestly, we just think these businesses blow up instantly, but they do. No, they do not. Let me tell you something. Just being a small business myself, I can tell you that the way that I thought entrepreneurship and having a small business would go has been different than what I thought. I thought, you get in, you have this business, you have these ideas, you started. I didn't have any funding, no backing, so it was just whatever money, and it's still that way. Whatever money that I have that I can contribute to my business is whatever money we have as a household, not that I have, the money that we have, because my husband works outside the house. I work in the house, and whatever money we have goes into the business. So it's not I don't have a cash cow. It's not a cash flow of like $10,000 being poured and then a $50,000 being poured into the business. It's more or less, okay, I have this $1,000 I can get. I can buy things here and there that I need to put toward the business. Excuse me. And it's a lot of learning along the way. It's a lot of bruising your knee, if you will. It's not, this is a glamorous life. It's a lot. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of early mornings. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of not going to this place because I want to be able to put into my business. It's a lot of the behind the scenes that people do not talk about. So I know that these people who have become successful business owners and entrepreneurs, they deserve it. They worked hard. And for those who started out with some money that, their situation was just different and they had it like that, then I still believe either way, you're still going to go through some things as an entrepreneur. You're still going to have to figure things out, but maybe they just had the financial backing, so that made it a little bit easier where they're able to go take these master classes and then they can jump ahead of the average person that's just trying to figure things out for themselves. And if somebody's a business owner, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I found is that I learn as I go. I do make mistakes. Like I said before, it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of testing things. It's a lot of trying to figure out what your client or your customer likes. It's a lot of you trying to figure out what you want to put out there. So it's quality control. It's, is this product good enough to put out? Is it something that represents me well? Is it something that I want the world to be exposed to? Because it represents me, it represents my brand. Um, it's just a whole lot. And I could go into a whole nother video about that, but maybe I can get some business owners on here, and we can talk more in depth about it, because you didn't ask me that. I just kind of went off because we were talking about the lady. So yes, Tay. Yes, it right. In that video, she shows where Monique and her husband were working 20-hour days. Yes, so true. You will work and you'll be like, I've had no sleep. I've had some 24-hour days before. And I'm telling you, I let me just tell you, I've had some days where I said, okay, I'm gonna work until like 4 o'clock in the morning, but then or I'm gonna work until three. Let's just say 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I ended up working until I worked until it was time literally for me to start getting my kids up and getting them ready for school. So I'm like, I've had no sleep. My eyes are, barely open, but I was like, you know what? You're gonna have to push through this, because I felt like the sacrifice was worth it. I chose to stay up all night and work on ideas for my business to push it forward, I or YouTube, even looking at analytics. Okay, what makes sense? Or I'm trying to make this stuff make sense, and I don't have a IT background, or I don't have a background at um, a consulting business or a business background where I can say, okay, these numbers mean this. I just got to go into it and figure it out. So you're going to be up at ungodly hours. You're looking at things, just trying to make sorts of it and say, okay, this is where I need to make this decision. Do I do this or do I do that? And it might require you staying up all night. Like you said, they were up 20 hours a day. They worked to get to where they are. So you put in this 20-hour day, and then you say, okay, I did it for 20 hours. Now I got to take the kids, and then I'm back home, back in the laboratory, back to work, because you are passionate about what you're doing, and you don't have a desire to quit. There's no part of you that says quit. In fact, there's just something in you that drives you to do more. And it's like, what else can I do? How can I make this better? What can how can I make this a better experience for people? What is it that I can do? What can I share? So you're constantly trying to figure things out. You're constantly trying to think about your next move. So no, it's not hard. Oh, and it's 3:12. I have enjoyed talking to you all. Tay, thank you for contributing in Grammy's journal, Riaz and everybody else. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming in, Syed. I hope I said your name correctly. I won't even try to say the rest of it because I'm not going to do that to you. But I thank you for coming in. If you have any more to add, feel free to leave it in the comment section. I have to go pick up my one of my younger daughters, so I'm going to have to cut this short in about 2 minutes. Okay, all right. Looks like I'm caught up. Syed, hello, dear. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. So hopefully, this was not just a complete venting, rambling session. I hope that it was helpful for someone. What I want you to remember is, when you're feeling like quitting, don't quit. Don't quit. Although sometimes it may call for that. What I would say is get some wise counsel. Talk to somebody who is in the same industry that you're in. If it's business related and you feel like you are hitting your head up against the brick wall, I feel like that a lot of times, like, oh, I'm hitting my head up against the brick wall. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? What's my next step? So if you're feeling like that, get some counsel, look at some videos, read, try to figure it out before you just quit. Because what I do know is that I am supposed to be doing this. I'm not a quitter. I won't quit. And sometimes, even when it looks like you need to quit, Andrea, I just say I'm not going to quit because there is something just inside me that's like, hey, keep going, and don't quit. So I just hope that this message encouraged you all. I hope that you all have a great Friday. It's the weekend. Yay! It's the weekend. Woo! It's the weekend. So have a good weekend. Enjoy your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and going into work Monday, your next week. And if you saw value in this video, share it with somebody else. Sunday, I will be having a live at 6 o'clock. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I will be there. So Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come over, meet me. Bring some friends with you, and we can talk about it. We can have a good conversation. And I don't know. It's going to be a surprise what we talk about because I don't even know at this point. Anyway, have a good day, you all. And I'm going to read Tay's comment. Where am I from? I'm from the United States. And we start off, we think everything is supposed to be perfect, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Yes, it's about how you finish, Tay. You're right. Tay says interesting. That is interesting. It is about how you finish, Tay. Did you keep going? That's it. Did you keep going, or did you throw your hands up and say, I quit? Because it's very easy to quit. Or did you keep going? Sucks. I'm so late. Oh man, Nikki, you are, but it's all right because this is a strong replay. You can be a replay game. Also, Nikki, I'll be here Friday. Not Friday. Today is Friday. See, I told you all my days merge. I don't know what day it is. Rhea, you're from UK? I don't know why I didn't know that, but I do now. Thank you for telling me. So, Nikki, we're just talking about quitting, not quitting and following through with your dreams and your passions. Don't let anybody tell you it's too late to do whatever that desire is in your heart. And also, I know that people, like I was saying earlier, they say, get your life together, do this, do that. But, I think we evolve and change so much as humans that do you figure out, like some people do, you're welcome. Sometimes it's just difficult to figure out what that thing is. And I think the people who find that thing, they're ultimately satisfied and they're able to do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, so important to keep going. Yes, you got to keep going because if you don't, how do you know? For me, it's this. And then I'm going to close with this because I do have to go. I'm glad you came in, Nikki. Thank you because you got me to think about something else. So important to keep going because, like I said, for me, there have been a couple of times when I'm like, oh, is this truly I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing, but I feel like, am I executing it properly? Am I being a good steward of what I'm supposed to be doing? If that makes sense. So am I executing properly? Am I doing the work that I need to do to make this business pop off, for example? And then I have to reevaluate some things and figure things out. But what I do know is I'm not going to quit. I'm not gonna quit because you remember that song, See What the End is Gonna Be, that they sang at the church? See what the end is gonna be. That's me. I can't because once you invest time, money, and effort into something, you're committed and you want to see what that end result is gonna be. You want to see what that end result is going to be. At least I do. So what I can leave with you is what Nikki said. It's important to keep going. Don't quit. It is not too late, nor is it over until we take our last breath. Absolutely. It's not over until it's over. And as long as you're here, as long as you're breathing, I believe you have purpose. I know you have purpose because otherwise you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be here. So as long as you're breathing, you have purpose. As long as you're here, you have purpose. And it is in you to do something. Everybody, and I said this before, everybody has a gift. What's your gift? What is it that makes you light up? Yeah, what is it that makes you light up? What is it that wakes you up? What is it that makes you want to put in 20-hour days? Tay was talking about that with Mael. What's it that makes you want to put in 20-hour days, that makes you lose sleep, that makes you say, how can I solve this problem? What can I do better? How can I help others? What is it that makes you feel like that? It is your purpose, right? It's your purpose. It's your calling. It's something that you've been assigned to do. And whatever it is that you've been And passion does that also. Whatever it is that you've been assigned to do it. Don't quit. And I will see you all in the next video, which will be Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great rest of your evening, you all. It's Friday. Have a good one and get some rest over the weekend. See you all later. Thank you for joining me.